This is Robert Harper with Virginia Farm Bureau's Grain Division. Glad to bring you the Merchandiser Minute for Friday, July the 10th, 2020, and a hot day in a lot of places today, and a week full of a lot of trade action, a lot of volatility this week in Chicago. We've all come to expect this type of volatility when we're in pure weather markets like we're in right now, and this week was no different. We had weather models coming out twice a day, every day, many days this week seeming to conflict one with another, and the speculators were trading back and forth along that action. So let's dig in a little bit here to some of the eye catchers this week. We saw President Trump this week, today actually, say that a phase 2 trade deal is unlikely at this time. This is something everyone in the trade has known. We've known we would have been deep into talks by now, maybe even in a perfect world, haven't had a phase 2 deal by this time. With tensions over COVID and other issues between us and China, the president said today on Air Force One that it's just not on the table right now. And at the same time earlier today, we saw a big flash sales announcement from China on a corn purchase. Let's take a look at the crop progress numbers from back on Monday. The USDA said the U.S. corn crop and the U.S. bean crop was rated at 71% good to excellent. Both of them, 71% good to excellent. It's outstanding, above average. Remember last year we were in the 50s on good to excellent ratings. Virginia corn comes in at 67% good to excellent. Virginia soybeans, 88% good to excellent. That's a phenomenal number. And then we see Virginia wheat harvest coming into this week at 82% harvested, and basically we've got most folks in the state done here by the end of tomorrow, Saturday, by the end of this week. And I think the grand majority of that crop will be in the bin. We look at USDA's export inspections. Corn came in below expectation along with wheat this week, and beans inspections, what was loaded on vessels, came in above expectations. Yesterday we did get our weekly export sales report. Corn came in as expected with China as the top customer. Soybeans came in above expectations for weekly sales numbers, again with China as the number one customer. And wheat came in as expected this week with Mexico as our number one customer. We did hear more hints this week of problems brewing in the biofuel industry and how it relates with the Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA. That's obviously negative for demand. We'll watch that in the coming week. We saw some interesting things in this Wednesday's weekly EIA report focused on the ethanol industry. We've got the 9th week in a row this week with production up 1.6%. But we also saw stocks go up this week, 2.3%. So a little bit of mixed bag in the weekly EIA report, but glad to know we still have some ethanol plants running, a lot of ethanol plants running, and so several more coming online. We think about the wheat harvest in Virginia. We talked a minute ago about it wrapping up this week. It's been very interesting seeing how it really is a tale of two crops here in Virginia, like it is most years. We have a feed wheat crop and we have a milling wheat crop, and we definitely have both in the state this year. We're also seeing some very interesting things with wheat moving out of Pennsylvania into Virginia. And I've only been watching this market here for the last 6 years, but this is the first time in the last 6 that wheat didn't move out of Virginia into Pennsylvania, and new crop wheat is moving from Pennsylvania into Virginia. Call sometime next week and we can talk about some of that. And the amazing story of this week, volatility-wise, on the upside is the soft wheat futures contract in Chicago. We've got a lot of influences working on that contract and pushing it to the upside. We've got questions about the soft wheat crop here in the United States. We know that the United Kingdom planted less acres last fall because of wet weather. That crop is showing that in size and total production. We know there's some problems with the French crop as well, and we're seeing a lot of dryness in Argentina. The folks down there are telling us, and what I read, and maybe less acres in Argentina on wheat. So all that has gone into a big rally for wheat futures, and very timely for those of you that have been selling it out of the field or will be selling it now out of the bin. So this week, let's take a look at the futures. September corn down 6 cents for the week at 337. August soybeans down 4 cents for the week to close at 8.87, and Chicago wheat up 42 cents. It's up 42 cents for the week to close at 5.34. The Commitment of Traders report just released a few minutes ago. We've got access to that today. It was effective of Tuesday, July the 7th. We've got the wheat speculator as of Tuesday, still 33,000 futures contracts short, but with the board up so big the last 2 days, I imagine they've gotten out of that short position now. Bean managed money speculator, 99,000 futures contracts long, and the corn speculator as of Tuesday still short, a pretty big position, 141,000 futures contracts. So the big news of the week also, other than weather, was the July crop report and World Ag Supply and Demand report. I'm going to take a brief look at that here with y'all. Corn production was left at 15 billion bushels. Average yield, USDA's guess today, July the 10th, is 178.5 bushels per acre of corn. Our old crop carryout number today came at 2.2 billion bushels. That's going to be what's left over in the bin on August 31st of this year when this marketing year ends. And the new crop carryout was reduced some, 2.6 billion bushels for the new crop carryout. Let's switch over to soybeans. Total production, 4.1 billion bushels. 49.8 as the national yield is USDA's best guess estimate right now. Old crop carry on beans, 620 million bushels. New crop carry out on beans, 425 million bushels. And again, when it comes to corn and soybeans, there were no surprises in today's report. The reduction in the new crop carry out number for corn was expected. We got that number on June the 30th when we saw the USDA take 5 million acres off of corn. So we knew that reduction was coming. So next week, it's all about weather. We're going to be watching those GFS and European weather models twice a day, every day. We're going to see if the speculators are going to buy futures or sell futures on the weather. It feels like there's plenty of production out there right now, and we saw in the sell-off in some futures today that the speculators feel the same way. Please call us to discuss new or old crop basis. Let us know if we can help you. This is Robert at Virginia Farm Bureau's Grain Division.